If you're trying to become a stronger person, then this video is going to be perfect for you. I'm going to share with you how I've become a stronger person. First, let's just define it. What does it mean to be a stronger person? Does it mean that you are immune when people say mean things about you? Does it mean that you can just ignore everything and that it just rolls off your back like water rolling off the back of a frog? Not exactly. Really, what I had to go through was I had to start detaching myself from what other people said about me and assigning myself my own self-image. So you can either let people define what they think you are, how they think you are, whether they think you're wearing black lip liner or not, or you can be confident in your own self-image, knowing that you are a good person, you do have a good heart, that you are beautiful inside and out, that you know not to wear black lip liner, that you know how to manifest your eyebrows, that, you know, none of those comments and things that people can say will tear you down when you become a stronger person. And sometimes it's just a matter of you actually looking at those comments and things people say, or, you know, situations you go through, and realizing that it is all a part of your journey. It's all part of you becoming a stronger person, because none of us are perfect. None of us are, you know, finished with our journey. We're all just living our life and trying to become a better person. And if becoming a strong person is something that you'd like to do, then there's a couple of things that I would suggest for you, and a couple of things that I have done for myself in order to become a stronger person. So the first thing that I've done is to, number one, assign myself my own self-image. So I kind of talked about this a little bit already, but it's a matter of me knowing who I am and being really confident in that. And if you're not really sure, well, who am I? What type of person am I? Just start to think through conversations that you have, interactions that you have, you know, stuff that's happened in your life and how you reacted to those situations. If there was ways that you reacted to those situations that you didn't like, then you don't have to keep doing things that way. But if there were ways you reacted to the situation that you did like, then that's how you will kind of take things forward. So for example, I remember when I was in school, this was like way back in elementary school, it was like middle school. I was in middle school, and I remember that there was these two girls that were really mean to me. They were kind of like bullies, but they weren't mean to everyone. They were only mean to me. And I remember one day, one of the girls said, "You need to just get off your high horse." And I honestly didn't know what that meant. We had just moved from New York to the South. Apparently that was a phrase that is used a lot in the South. Or it could just be the fact that I just didn't know what that meant. And so I remember I actually had to ask my mom and dad, because I actually talked to my dad, because there's no such thing as Google back then when I was in middle school. So I couldn't just search, you know, what does it mean to be on a high horse? I realized that her statement was saying that I was looking down on other people, or that I felt like I was better than other people. And I remember that in that situation, I really wish that I would have just responded back, I'm not on a high horse. I'm just really confident in who I am. Or I'm not on a high horse. Or what do you mean? Like anything. But I really just shrunk. And I didn't say anything. I didn't respond. And I still remember that situation. And when I decided to essentially reframe it for myself, you know, use it as a way for me to become a stronger person, what I did was I essentially reenacted the scenario in my mind. So I started thinking back to what happened, how I was feeling at the time, how I felt after she made her comment. And then instead of it happening the way that it actually happened, I just reframed it, and I just like reenacted it in my mind, and I chose a different outcome. And I've done this several times, and I started doing this over and over and over again, because what I realized was that you only like assign strength to something because of the way that you think of it in your head. So if that's the case, then that means that you can think of it any way that you want. And if you want to reenact a scenario and you want to have a good comeback, or you want to say something different, you can do that. And so that's essentially what I started to do. It actually helped me to become much better at manifestation in general, because when you can like reframe stuff and kind of like reenact stuff in your head, it makes it that much easier for you to visualize and see exactly what it is that you want and kind of go from there. So that was one of the first ways that I decided to, that I feel like I've used in order to become a stronger person. One of the other things that I feel like I've done in order to become a stronger person is just to surround myself with positive people. There's a quote, I believe it's by Jim Rohn, that says that you are the sum of the 5 closest people to you. And instead of me putting myself in situations where I would be around people that didn't value me as a person, simply started associating myself with people who would value me. I started making friends with people who weren't judgmental, and I started making friends with people who were just like me, like they were just silly and fun, and I found like my people, and it allowed me to get rid of all the drama. It allowed me to start focusing on a new life for myself, which was being around mature people and being around people who had respect for themselves and for me as well. So that's one of the second things that I did to become a stronger person. And then the third thing I will say, and I'm still sort of on this journey, is that I didn't shy away from things that are difficult. And for me, one of the most difficult things in my life has been growing a business. So creating a business, growing a business, it has been essentially I don't want to say a struggle, because it doesn't have to be a struggle, but it's really been something that has forced me to push myself in all areas of self-development, to get better with interacting with people, to get better with understanding people, to learn a lot more, reading different books, taking different trainings, and really developing myself as a person. And I feel like if you want to become a stronger person, one of the best things that you can do is to put yourself up against something that's already strong. And either you're going to shrink away and become a weaker person, or you're going to be able to become stronger because of that. There's another saying that says iron sharpens iron. And I say that this definitely goes into trying to become a stronger person. Put yourself in that situation where you know you're going to have to become a stronger person. You know you're going to have to do something that maybe makes you uncomfortable. So a really good example of this is when I was in high school. So I used to walk around with my hands on my stomach like this, and then I decided to take a drama class. In that drama class, we had an improv day where we were doing an improv session, and it was one of those tag, you're in or out or whatever. And so what happened was I was walking around like I normally do, kind of with my hands over my stomach, because I was always self-conscious about my stomach. It's where I hold the majority of my fat. And I remember someone tagged me out. And when you tag yourself into improv, you have to take the same position that they had. So that person actually went in, and then you also have to start a new story or start a new drama, right? So they tagged themselves in, they put their hands on their stomach like this, and then they said, oh, I feel so sick, I don't feel good. And I remember thinking, wow, do I really do that? Is it that obvious that I'm holding my hands over my stomach? And me being in that improv class and that drama class really helped me to become a stronger person, because it helped me to reflect and see exactly what are those things that I do that I either need to let go, or ways that I am shrinking, or ways that I'm not being as confident as I can be. And that class really, really helped me. Do you have any other tips on how you can become a stronger person? I would love for you to leave those in the comments, because it really does help everyone else who is watching and commenting as well. If you're watching this video, it's likely you want to become a stronger person, but I'm sure that you have some instances of what you have done in order to become a stronger person yourself. I'd love to hear some of those stories. So just leave them in the comments. Also, this was a requested video. If you have any other videos that you'd like to request that I make videos on personal development, creating your life, lifestyle design, becoming a better person, and entrepreneurship, lifestyle, travel. So if there are any requested videos, please leave those in the comments as well. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.